Oh, hello and happy Sunday and the start of another weekly reading vlog. What am I reading and or listening to? I'm currently not really listening to anything at the moment, but I am reading quite a lot. Before I get into what I'm currently reading, I did finish a book this morning. I finished my reread of Quicksilver, and I forgot how good it was. I am happy I finished it because then I could hopefully start Brimstone soon. So yeah, so I finished Quicksilver. So I'm currently focusing on 3 books at the moment. I'm currently focusing on Air by Sabira Tahir. It's part of her duology based off the Ember and the Ashes series, which I really enjoyed. I'm also reading Empire of the Dawn by Jay Kristoff. It is the 3rd and final book in the Empire of the Vampire series. I'm about 20% into it and I'm really enjoying it so far. And then I am also reading Alchemized. My friend Ren said, you should read Alchemized. If you don't know what Alchemized is, it is done by Sen Lin Yu. Before it was traditionally publicized, it was a Draco Hermione fanfiction called Manacled. And I literally read Manacled years ago. It was really dark, but I enjoyed it. So I decided to finally cave and read Alchemized, and I'm almost about 20% into it. Those are 2 really big books. So before I start any other new book, which includes Brimstone, I'm going to focus on the 3 books I am currently in the middle of so I can finish them before I start new ones. It's also the end of November. Thanksgiving is this Thursday. But yeah, I finished Quicksilver. I think I'm going to dive a little bit into Air, get a good chunk of that out of the way, and then probably move to either Empire of the Dawn or Alchemized. I am probably going to move locations because if I keep reading at home, all I want to do is lay and scroll on my phone and not do any reading. So I think I'm going to go to my Barnes & Noble, sit in the Starbucks area and do some reading. We'll see if I get any books. We'll see. I will show you if I do. I want to at least update you guys. Good. See you later. Hello. I am back from my little outing. I ended up going to Barnes & Noble. And I spent about 2 hours there. It is the most glorious 2 hours that I was sitting and reading. I got about an hour of reading done. Because I did 30 minutes on one book and I did 30 minutes on another book. And a little bit more after the 30 minutes of the second book. So the first book I read at Barnes & Noble was Air by Sabira Tahir. I'm really enjoying it. It's great to be back in that world again after Ember and the Ashes. So to be in the world, to see like 2 of the familiar characters that we know from her other series, it's just really really good. And I've been enjoying it. I'm now about 20% done with it. Before I go into the second book that I read, I'm going to talk about the one book, just one book I bought. And I bought The Defender by Anna Huang. This is book 2 of her sports romance series. Yes, this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. But I'm excited to read this when my Wheel of Shame actually spins it. And by Wheel of Shame, I mean the spinning wheel on internet website that I use to put all my TBR on to that helps me decide what books I read. So I haven't spun Defender yet, but I've already created my December TBR, which I will film later this week, of all the books I'm going to read in the month of December. So, yay! Okay, now we have to talk. We have to talk about the book that I read for a little bit more than 30 minutes. That I'm reading because of my friend Ren. I don't know if you can see it on the Kindle, but I'm currently reading, as I mentioned before, I'm reading Alchemized. And with Alchemized, it being one, a dark romance, and a lot of trigger warnings, I take breaks from reading the book. But this was the other book that I read when I was at Barnes & Noble, and I couldn't put it down. I am now officially 25% done with the book. I am about to start chapter 20, and something big just happened, and I'm like, ah! And I instantly texted my friend Ren. I'm like, this happened, ah! And her response was, ah! I'm like, I'm catching up to you. She's like, yeah, you are. Because she started before me. But yeah, I'm now officially 25% into Alchemized. But it was getting dark outside, and instead of moving to a different location, because Barnes & Noble on Sundays close at 7, I'm like, okay, I can't stay here until 7. So I came home, and I think I'm gonna set a timer. I think I'm gonna read Empire of the Dawn. Don't get me wrong, I would love to continue reading Alchemized, but I want to read the other books I'm currently in the middle of. But I'm now down to 3 books, which is very exciting. Because, as I mentioned this morning when I started the vlog, I finished Quicksilver today. But yeah, I think I am going to sit on my bed, do some more reading. I think I'm gonna light my, not candle, I'm gonna turn on my, candle warming lamp on, get into, put some ambiance on and do some more reading. I think this time I'm going to do Empire of the Dawn because I want to get a little bit more into that, and then we'll see where we go. But I will definitely update you before I go to bed. Don't worry. It's weird using my camera again because I've been using my phone lately, but I'm happy to have my camera. So I will update you guys later. I'm going to do some reading. Bye. Hello, happy Tuesday. I forgot to update you yesterday and I'm sorry. But I made it to part 2 in Alchemized, which is very exciting. I'm 25% done with it. And I've read a little bit more of Air. I actually read a little bit more of Air today. And I've also made it to part 2 of the book, which is very exciting. I haven't read a little bit more of Empire of the Dawn, which I plan to do today. But I did go to Barnes & Noble. I picked up Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I'm reading this in the month of December, and I don't physically own it. I don't own it on my Kindle. But I spent it for my reel for December, so I decided to go to Barnes & Noble today, and I picked it up. And I also recently reread Wicked, and so I wanted to get the next book in the series, which happens to be, or also known as Volume 2, and that is Son of a Witch by Gregory Maguire. I read this years ago, but I wanted to like reread it, and I reread Wicked, so now I'm gonna reread The Son of the Witch, which is very exciting. But I just got home. I think I'm gonna possibly either read a little bit of Air or Alchemized or Empire of the Dawn. I don't know, but I will try to update you before I go to bed. We'll see how all that goes. But I just recently filmed my December TBR for books I'm going to read in the month of December. So, yeah, that's the story. I'm gonna go and start reading. Bye guys. Hello, happy Friday. I have not updated in the past 2 days, which is Wednesday and Thursday. And I'm sorry. And the reason why is because I've literally been reading a certain book, and only a certain book, because my friend's also reading the book and she was a lot farther than me. Not anymore. I finished the book. I finished the book about like an hour ago. And I've been just in my feels of said book. And you're probably wondering, Katie, what book are you talking about? I'm talking about Alchemized by Sun Yu. I finished it, and I am not okay, and I don't want to give spoilers away. I read Manacled, which is a fan fiction, but then became traditionally publicized to be alchemized years ago. And so I didn't remember too much stuff, and so reading Alchemized with fresh eyes was really exciting. It destroyed me, mind, body, and soul. I'm sad it's over. I think it's one of the bigger books I read this year. Then again, I did read The Storm Archives by Brandon Sanderson this year. So it's one of the bigger books I read this year. But I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It was a really good way to spend a day off from work, is staying in bed and reading a book and finishing said book. Since I finished Alchemist, I have moved on to another book. I am continuing my read with The Empire of the Dawn. I plan to read more of this. I definitely plan to read more of Air by Sabir Tahir. I want to finish those 2 books before Monday, because Monday is December 1st, and if I could finish The Empire of the Dawn and Air, I would have done a good job of reading a lot of books in November. Probably not a whole lot, but that's currently written down in my reading journal of books I'm currently reading. And if I could start another book, I will. But I want to at least update you. I have to update my reading journal. Then I'm going to go back to reading Empire of the Dawn, but I wanted to let you know I did finish Alchemized, and I'm destroyed. Goodbye. Happy Sunday night, people. Katie Book Corner. Well, I did it. I'm surprised I did it, but I did it, and it's almost currently midnight. Almost midnight. It's like 11:50. But I did finish the 2 last books that I was currently in the middle of. I finished them, which means I finished The Empire of the Dawn by Jay Kristoff, and let me tell you, that was one way to end a series, and I enjoyed it a lot better. That I really got home from work, just sat and read and finished it. I took a break to eat dinner, and then I continued reading it. The same with Air by Sabir Tahir. Just being back in that world made me feel so much better. I loved it so much. Again, the ending made me want to throw my book across the room. And by book, I mean my Kindle. But I really enjoyed it. And I finished the last 2 books that I wanted to finish before December started. Yay! Which is very exciting and a perfect way to end the vlog. But yeah, I will end here. I've had a really good reading week. I finished 3 books. 3 really good books that I gave 5 stars to each. But yeah, I'm excited to see how December's gonna go and how many books I'll read in December. But now I'm gonna end the vlog and go to bed because I'm tired. I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.